What happens when someone survives what should have erased them? In Jamie Foxx's case, survival was never a coincidence. It was a skill learned early and tested often. Long before awards and applause, his life was shaped by endurance, discipline, and the refusal to disappear. Jamie Foxx is not simply a Hollywood success story, he is a testament to resilience forged under pressure. From comedy clubs to concert halls, from dramatic transformations on screen to moments of quiet reflection off it, his journey reflects a life that repeatedly stood at the edge and chose to keep going. Every chapter of his story carries the same message. Survival is not about avoiding hardship, but about transforming it. His career, his family life, and even his moments of vulnerability reveal a man who learned how to endure long before the world learned his name. A childhood marked by absence. Jamie Foxx was born Eric Marlon Bishop on December 13, 1967, in Terrell, Texas, into a life that offered little certainty. His parents were unable to remain present, and before he could form memories of comfort, he was placed in the care of his grandmother, Estelle Marie Talley. The absence of his parents left quiet questions that never fully faded, but it also placed him under the guidance of a woman who believed structure could save a child. Her home was modest and strict, shaped by faith, routine, and responsibility. There was little room for excuses or self-pity. While the emotional weight of abandonment lingered, it was balanced by an environment that emphasized discipline over despair. That balance would later become the foundation Jamie relied on whenever life threatened to pull him under. Discipline as a form of love. In his grandmother's home, discipline was not cruelty. It was preparation. Jamie's days were structured, predictable, and demanding. He was introduced to music early, particularly the piano, and practice was non-negotiable. Hours spent learning classical compositions built more than musical skill. They trained patience, focus, and emotional control. While other children played freely, Jamie learned that mastery required repetition and discomfort. His grandmother believed that talent without discipline was wasted potential, and she held him to that standard without exception. Over time, the piano became both a challenge and a refuge, offering expression when words fell short. That early training shaped how he would later approach comedy, acting, and music, with precision, commitment, and the understanding that success is earned through persistence rather than promised through circumstance. Humor as a shield. Despite the structure of his upbringing, loneliness followed Jamie closely. School events and milestones often passed without parents in the audience, and that absence left a quiet ache. To cope, he learned how to make people laugh. Humor became a way to connect, to deflect pain, and to earn attention without asking for it. Jokes filled the spaces where reassurance should have lived. Over time, that instinct sharpened into timing, observation, and emotional awareness. Comedy wasn't just entertainment, it was survival. By learning how to read people and rooms, Jamie discovered how to control moments that once made him feel powerless. That ability to transform vulnerability into connection would later define his stage presence, allowing him to disarm audiences while protecting parts of himself that were never meant for public display. Finding direction through music. Music remained a constant as Jamie moved through adolescence. Gospel choirs, piano lessons, and church performances shaped his sense of rhythm and emotional expression. Music gave structure to feelings he couldn't articulate and offered a sense of belonging when family ties felt distant. It also introduced him to performance as a shared experience, one that could move people and create connection without explanation. By the time he reached college, studying music composition felt natural, even expected. Yet beneath that path lived a restless curiosity. Jamie understood discipline, but he also craved risk. Music had given him control, but comedy promised unpredictability. That tension between structure and spontaneity would soon push him toward a decision that would redefine his future and test everything he thought he knew about himself. Stepping into the unknown. College brought Jamie closer to opportunity, but it also revealed what he truly wanted. While studying classical music, he found himself drawn toward comedy clubs, where laughter was immediate and failure unforgiving. The environment was harsh, competitive, and often dismissive. Performers waited endlessly for a chance at the microphone, knowing one bad set could erase weeks of effort. It was here that Eric Bishop became Jamie Foxx, choosing a name that allowed flexibility and opportunity in an industry that offered little grace. That decision marked a turning point, not because it guaranteed success, but because it represented commitment. Comedy required courage, vulnerability, and resilience. Every performance became a test of self-belief, forcing Jamie to confront rejection head-on while refusing to retreat from the stage. The grind. Behind the breakthrough. Early success did not arrive quickly. Jamie endured long nights, inconsistent pay, and performances that fell flat. Some rooms embraced him, others turned cold without warning. Each failure carried emotional weight, reviving old fears of being overlooked or forgotten. Yet he returned night after night, refining his voice, sharpening his instincts, and learning how to recover in real time. Comedy taught him adaptability, the ability to pivot, listen, and respond under pressure. Those lessons extended far beyond humor. They shaped his work ethic and reinforced a truth he learned early. Consistency matters more than confidence. Slowly, his reputation grew, leading to opportunities that expanded his reach. When he finally broke through to mainstream audiences, it wasn't luck. It was the result of years spent mastering discomfort. Recognition and reinvention. Television introduced Jamie Foxx to a broader audience, but it also brought limitations. Success on comedy platforms often leads to typecasting, and Jamie felt the pressure to remain within a single identity. Rather than accept those boundaries, he challenged them. He pursued dramatic roles with the same intensity he once applied to punchlines. That determination culminated in performances that reshaped how the industry viewed him. His portrayal of Ray Charles demonstrated emotional depth, musical authenticity, and transformative commitment. The recognition that followed confirmed his range, but it also introduced new expectations. Success created opportunity, but it also raised the stakes. Jamie now carried the responsibility of proving that his achievements were not anomalies, but reflections of sustained excellence. Fatherhood as purpose. Away from the spotlight, Jamie's most meaningful role emerged as a father. The birth of his daughters reshaped his priorities, grounding him in responsibility and presence. Having grown up with emotional absence, he was determined not to repeat that pattern. Fatherhood gave him clarity, reminding him that success means little without connection. He prioritized involvement, consistency, and protection, even as personal relationships evolved. Rather than perfection, he chose commitment. His children became anchors, reminders of why resilience mattered beyond career milestones. In nurturing them, Jamie found healing for parts of himself that had long carried unanswered questions. Parenthood didn't erase the past, but it allowed him to rewrite the future with intention and care. Facing vulnerability with strength. Later in life, Jamie encountered health challenges that forced him to slow down and reflect. Privacy became essential as he focused on recovery and well-being. Stepping away from public life tested his identity, reminding him that fame does not guarantee control. Yet, even in uncertainty, resilience guided him forward. He approached healing with the same discipline that shaped his career, acknowledging vulnerability without surrendering to fear. The experience reinforced a deeper truth. Survival is not just physical, it is emotional and mental. Emerging from that period, Jamie carried a renewed appreciation for presence, gratitude, and balance, choosing to move forward with intention rather than urgency. A legacy built on endurance. Jamie Foxx's story is not defined by uninterrupted success, but by sustained effort. Each chapter reflects adaptation, humility, and resolve. He transformed absence into discipline, rejection into mastery, and vulnerability into strength. His legacy extends beyond awards and performances. It lives in the example he sets through perseverance and growth. Jamie's journey reminds us that resilience is built quietly, often long before recognition arrives. He stands as proof that survival can be creative, purposeful, and deeply human. Rather than being erased by hardship, he allowed it to shape him. In doing so, he created a life marked not by ease, but by meaning. And that may be the most enduring achievement of all.